Hi, guys. Welcome back to another episode of From the Heart. I'm your host, Chloe Trca, and this is a podcast where we talk all things health, wellness, business, lifestyle, mindset, my faith, anything I'm walking through. I turn around and try to give you guys advice on it based upon the lessons that I learn, kind of as like a big sister chat. We get real here. I literally speak truly from my heart. I'm open, honest, and I tell it like it is. And I'm really excited about this episode today because these are 3 lessons and 3 truths I have been walking through and can't wait to share with you guys because I think this will change your life. The first one is, we're just going to get straight into it. The first one is starting to prepare for what you're praying for. We're going to talk about that because then it brings us into learning to enjoy the process of becoming. And then to finish out, we're going to talk about why success isn't about how others view your life. It's actually about how it feels to you. They all tie together in a roundabout way. Truly, it breaks down to preparing, to enjoying, to redefining. And it's just going to make a lot of sense. I'm so excited. This is like my brain is just like going and going and going today. And all of this like hit me at once. I made a post on Instagram today about these and I was like, wow, like if this isn't the truth of like unlocking, I guess that next level in your life, I don't know what is. But I have so many notes. I can't wait to just like chat and talk and really get into this episode. Lots of details. It has been a day. It has been a day, and I feel like I'm just like knocking things out, and I'm excited. I have energy. So I hope you guys are ready. Take notes on this episode. If you're on your little hot girl walk, mentally take a note. I don't know. But if you are in a season of waiting, in a season of building, or even questioning like the process or progress, the point that you're at in life, I think this episode is going to be for you because I think this is a struggle we all have is like the in between, the season of waiting. Like we all have goals, but like before we accomplish that goal, that season's tough, you know, that in between season, whether you're waiting for marriage, a promotion, a baby, a boyfriend, graduation, you know, like we're probably waiting on something at all times in our life. So if we can learn how to like navigate that properly and handle that properly, I feel like life is just going to be so much more rich. Okay. So I want to start talking about first, preparing for what you're praying for. I think a lot of times, we're sitting there asking God for things, we're praying for things, we're hoping for things, we're wishing for things. And it's funny because what if the very thing that you're asking God for is truly just a matter of you being ready for it? So I think about this a lot when it comes to in my life being a wife and being married. Okay. It's funny because my boyfriend now, this was like over a year and a half ago, like the first time we met, the first time we hung out, we were just friends and I was swearing off boys. I was going through it with not a couple different guys, but like I had just went through a couple different things with guys. Like it was like bad thing, bad thing, bad thing. And I was like, I'm done. I'm over it. Like I can't take this anymore. I'm focusing on myself. I'm just never going to date. Like I was done. I kind of just like given up, surrendered it. And Kyler, my boyfriend now, like I said at the time, was just my friend. He kind of turned it back on me and he goes, well, because I'm like, these guys just like aren't serious. They weren't the one, you know? And I felt like I was telling him, I was like, just a waste of time, it's a waste of energy. And he goes, well, do you think you're ready to be a wife? Because I was kind of explaining to him how these men weren't like husband material. And it was just like draining me for no reason. And then he countered it and asked me, and he's like, well, do you think you're prepared to be a wife? And that really hit me. And I was like, wait a minute. Like, I think it's easy to put the blame on everyone else. And not gonna lie, these guys were not husband material, but it doesn't mean I was the wifey material either. I think you attract what you are. And I think that I wasn't necessarily ready to be a wife. I wasn't portraying that. I wasn't putting that out there. So I wasn't attracting that. Like it does kind of it kind of hurts when you like reflect on the inside and be like, okay, that was a little bit of my own consequence, of my own actions, you know, like take it inward and it's not always everyone else's fault, you know? So I think so often we pray and we wait, but we forget that there's like a partnership with God. Okay. And he can open a door, but he's not going to open it until we're ready. And so for me, I think Kyler saying that planted a seed in my mind. And I was like, wait, I need to reflect on myself and my life and how I'm showing up for like the people that I'm, you know, beginning to become involved with. And it's funny because God's just so funny. And he really, you know, utilized the guy that I hopefully will marry one day, to be the one to say that to me. And over time, I was really able to just like, I guess, reflect and make different conscious choices, about how I showed up. And God, I think, blessed that fortunately, because I started taking action, okay, I was preparing myself to become a wife. I was changing my behaviors and my actions and cleaning things up and just honestly becoming a woman of God, taking that more serious because I wanted a man of God. That's not what I was finding. And I knew that's what I wanted. So I had to become that perfect match for, a man of God. And so if you're praying for a healthy relationship like I was, are you becoming a healthy partner, essentially? Are you becoming like a godly woman, or are you becoming a wife material? If you're praying for a business breakthrough, I know this is real for a lot of us, me too. But I have to often ask myself, like, are your habits ready for the level of responsibility? Like, can I take that on? Because God knows if like we're ready for it, but he's not going to give it to us until he knows we're like ready to carry that load with him. Because God won't put us to anything he can't get us through, but he has to make sure we're prepared before he like takes us on that journey. So if you're still in the waiting season, it's like you're still developing and still being prepared to even like step into that season. Because then that season's a whole nother journey. Don't get me wrong, but it's like a 2-part series, it's like preparation, and then it's like actually going through the journey to receive the blessing at the end. Or even if you're asking for influence. I know a lot of people want to be on social media. They want to build a platform, or they want to become a teacher or a business owner or a manager or a pastor, like they want to lead something. I think God puts that on a lot of people's hearts, not everyone's, but if that's on your heart, how are you stewarding the platform that you already have? I always tell people, me and my friends talk about this all the time. I'm like, I can sit there and be like greedy with numbers and be like, I want more followers. I want more this. I want more this. But I'm like, okay, maybe the reason I haven't been blessed with more is because I'm not stewarding what I have well enough. That comes with like finances. That comes with anything. But like, it really made me reflect and turn in and be like, okay, am I bringing in a value to my community online? Like, are they benefiting from me? Am I showing up as who I want to be on social media? Like, if 1 million people were watching me, would I be proud of what I'm putting out? And it really puts things into perspective, because God's going to put exactly the people in front of you that should be in front of you. So if I'm not ready to like lead that many people, then that's okay. But I got to continue to like work on that, and dig through and pray and just figure out like what needs to change and what needs to fix so I can lead a bigger group. And if this is all God has for me, then like that's a blessing in itself, and I'm okay with that. But it's not always just like wanting more. It's asking yourself like why I'm at the season or the stage that I am, and like maybe what needs to change to get me to that next point. So they always say like faith without preparation is just a wish. So you can have faith in something, but if you're not sitting there preparing yourself, like God's not going to bless that. It's just a wish at that point. Preparing is you being like, God, I trust that what I have is enough, but I'm ready to go, essentially. Like if you're ready, I'm ready, but like also being content with what God's blessed you with and understanding that that's already a blessing in itself. So I think this is a good point for you guys to sit and like reflect and be like, how can I prepare? Like the promise is already on its way. So if there's something that you want, if there's something you've been praying for, if there's something on your heart that you desire, whether you're faithful or not, it's like the goals that I have, like pull up your vision board or your prayer board from 6-7 months ago this year and be like, have I done anything to prepare myself to become that woman or that man on that vision board? Likely there's a lot of missing parts, and holes in that we can like fill and add and begin to prepare ourselves for that. And that's why I think it's so important to not rush into things, because the preparation is so important. Like preparing you, like failing to prepare is preparing to fail. So if you're not going to be prepared stepping into that season or that stage of life, like it's not going to go how you want it to go anyway. So be patient and trust that the timing is perfect. And when you are blessed with that, when that season of life is delivered to you, like you will be equipped to take it on. And I think that just like eases a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety when you are in that new stage, because it is scary when you make a change. Most of your blessings are like a blessing because you've never had it before. So there's a lot of unknowns. There's a lot of questions. It's scary, building a business or leveling up in a business or talking on a greater platform or getting married or having a kid, like whatever it is, like those things are scary. But if you're preparing yourself the right way, you should have so much confidence, like walk in so much faith that you're ready for that. And that brings me to the second part, and that is enjoying the process of becoming. I think we fail to do this all the time. I fail to do this all the time. This is the hardest thing for me, is to enjoy the process. I did this in running, and I think running and the process of training for half marathon, like really like made this real, and I understood this. And that's like the first time God was like, see, like the process is just as beautiful, if not more beautiful than the outcome. Like 3-4 months that I dedicated to training, and I built discipline, and I watched myself evolve and grow and get stronger and get more endured. Like, it was so amazing. Like, it was really encouraging. And it was like, okay, all of the hard runs or all the great runs or all the memories and the experiences that I gained throughout those months were so worth it. Like, even I gained more from that than I did the accomplishment of running the 13.1 miles at the end of the training block. Becoming is just a part of the process. And becoming prepared isn't just about getting the thing, it's about becoming the person who can handle it. So it's kind of like what I was just saying earlier, about like preparing yourself and doing what you need to be doing to prepare for like what you're wanting. You have to understand like the process is what's building you to be able to handle that next blessing or that next season in life. So understand like you're not behind in anything. We've talked about this before on my podcast. You're not late. You're literally in the process of becoming. Like, you're on the way. You're on the way. You might not be there yet, but you're on the way. So it's like, when you're talking to a friend and it's like, when are you going to pick me up? And they'd be like, I don't know, but I'm on my way. Like, at least you know they're coming. You don't know when, but at least they've like left the house. Okay. Like, if you're taking steps, you've left the house. We just don't know. We just don't know when we're going to get there. But you have to have faith that you will get there and it will be at the perfect time. It's not an easy task because it's kind of like blind faith. Like, you can't see it, but you just got to believe in it. It's uncomfortable. It for sure is, because when you don't have, like, I love control, and I love to like know things in advance. Like, it really stirs up a lot of anxiety in me when it's out of my control. But I've had to give that up the more I've grown my faith to God. I mean, like, He's ultimately in control. So like, why do I even stress? But it's still like a human reaction. It's an emotion, it's an experience that a lot of us go through and feel when we're like working so hard for something or we're wanting something so bad. It's still uncomfortable not knowing when that's coming, especially when we have these quote unquote timelines we put on ourselves. I think those are so silly. And I think, they're great benchmarks, in certain areas like business, but I don't think you should be putting necessarily like super strict timelines on everything in your life. Because it does just make it so much more uneasy and so much more uncomfortable. But it's important because it's necessary. Like I said, you have to go through the preparation. Like, it's like training for the half marathon. Like, I couldn't just go rip the 13.1 miles. Like, I had to prepare myself, and I had to slowly evolve into that type of athlete to be able to have the endurance physically to run that much. Like, that much time on your feet and that much mental strength. Like, you can't just gain that in one day. Like, it took me months, it took me years, honestly, to like develop that. And I'm so glad I did, because if I think about towing up at a start line for 13.1 miles with no training, that's terrifying. And it would have went so bad and so ugly, and I probably would have never done it again. So it's like preparing built that confidence in me and that trust in myself and God, being like, okay, we can do this. We've trained, we prepared, we are equipped, and now I'm ready to like be launched into this endeavor, So don't skip over the growth just to get to the goal. Okay. I'm gonna say that again. Don't skip over the growth just to get to the goal. So it's like in the training room, in the weight room, like everything that I connect to is like fitness, but it's like you don't want to skip out on like the gains to like get the PR. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want the muscle to show like that you have the strength to do something, if that makes sense. It's the only way I can like connect it to the gym, but that might not have been a very good comparison. But I feel like there's a lot of identity being shaped in quiet seasons. And I think God like chisels us, and He figures us out, and He develops us, and He builds character, and He redefines us and refines us and builds us stronger and better. It's like a muscle. When you're in the gym, you're tearing it apart. Like, when you're training, when you're in the weight room, when you're physically like trying to get stronger, what you're actually doing is ripping your muscle fibers apart into pieces. It's tearing them apart. So then when you're recovering, when you're resting, when you're in that waiting season, they build back even stronger. So you went from a 1-inch bicep to 1.5-inch bicep, and like, that's the ultimate goal. Like, that's what you were striving for. And so it's like throughout those seasons, that's where we're being shaped and refined. And I feel like every single one of you listening, like, wants to be a better version of yourself every day. Like, that's my goal, is to be at least 1% better than I was the day before. Maybe I swear a little less. Maybe I smile a little more. Maybe I'm more helpful, or bring more joy to the table, or I just have a better mood, or I'm closer to God, or I don't know, like, just something in life I want to be better at, or a better version of myself than the day before. I just want you guys to give yourself grace, okay, in the process, and then just like learn to celebrate the small wins. I think throughout the process, it's like, we're still not there. We're still not there. And it kind of feels like a knockback. But like, there's so many small wins along the way. Like, for example, again, when I was training for my half marathon, I was training for so long, I never got to accomplish the 13.1 miles, but I was hitting PRs every single week. I was running further, I was running faster, or I was showing up one more week. Like, those were all wins that I had to like compile and build upon, because when one thing doesn't go your way, if you don't have like a fixed stack of wins and you just have one win, or you don't even have any, and then you're knocked down, like maybe one week, I don't know, started my period and my runs were crap, or I went and traveled and I skipped a week of training. Like, if I hadn't had the consistency of all those wins stacked, it would have like blown me over. Like, I would have been probably wanting to quit or wanting to give up or being like, so just not where I needed to be. But it's like, you kind of develop that, like, you give yourself a little more give, like you have more wiggle room in a sense, when like you have so much consistency stacked and so many wins stacked. If you make a little mistake, if you have a little error, 'cause we're human, that's going to happen along the way no matter what. Like, we're going to mess up, we're going to fall behind, we're going to fail. When you have so much compounded, those little failures don't really even matter. You don't even really notice them. They don't really affect you because you have so much good stacked up. And the last thing, okay, is redefining success. This, I don't even remember where I saw this, but it stuck with me so much. There was a quote and it said, success is about how it feels, not how it looks. Okay. So you shouldn't be looking and defining your own success based upon everyone else's lens around you. Like, oh, do I look successful to this, and this person and this person? And on social media, like, how do I feel? Do I feel like I'm making progress? Do I feel like I'm successful? And everything. I know the details. I know my analytics. I know my statistics. I know my impact. I know my income. I know my effort. I know where I'm at and how I feel. No one actually knows those details. That's all what you put out for people to see. Well, keep in mind, no one shows the fails. No one shows the failures. Everyone just likes to show like when they're actually accomplished, like when they've gotten to the goal. When they run the 13.1 miles, no one really, well, I do. Some people document the journey, you know what I'm saying? But not a lot of people like show the fails and the falls. And that's why I think we're so hard on ourselves, because we're comparing ourselves to all this like perfectness when none of it's perfect. Nobody's journey is perfect. Like, everyone's falling and failing, but no one talks about that. Okay. So understand, it's not how others see your life. It's about how you live it and how you feel in it, because everyone's very success driven. We're human beings. Like, we live in a very worldly focused world, and success is what's idolized, whether it's monetarily, whether it's like succeeding in like school, getting the best grades, getting a promotion, having the picket fence, having the brand new house, like having the big, beautiful wedding, being married, like any of these things, quote unquote, are success in our world's perspective. I feel like we're always doing it for the view, or like for everyone else's like view, for everyone else to see it on Instagram, rather than like doing it for our own selves. Like, I never, like, that's something I have to like work on and still think about, because it's like, okay, like, do I really want this for myself, or do I want it to like add to the resume to make myself look good? That's crazy to think about, but a lot of times I feel like we're doing things for the wrong reasons. It's actually crazy, because when I reflect, it's like I've hit all these milestones and I've done all these things in the last 5 years. And there's been moments where I've still felt empty about an accomplishment. Say it was like hitting 100,000 on Instagram. That's such an accomplishment. And to me, that's amazing. Oh my gosh. Me in high school, thinking about having that many people like support me and be in a community and choose to actively like stay involved in my life, that's crazy. But I still felt empty, because I was like, you know what? Pam, Susie, Joe, Jim, whatever, have 1 million followers. Like, I'm not even near that. And it like sucks the life out of us, and it sucks the accomplishment and the excitement. But it's like, if I didn't care what anyone else said or thought of or what anyone else had, oh my gosh, she'd be jumping over the moon for 100,000 followers. Like, that's such an accomplishment to me. So it's like, don't let yourself feel empty, because if you do, it's probably because your focus is like in the wrong like reason, or like you're doing things for the wrong reason. Understand that real success is internal, and it's where you have like peace about something, or you have purpose. I think purpose is the best thing ever. I love having purpose. That's why I get up and I do what I do every single day, because I have a purpose on social media. Like, I truly want to help women feel better, live better lives, not make the same mistakes I did, like have more joy, feel more energy, be happier, like be excited about life, be motivated. Like I want people and women to have that. And that's my purpose every day of like, how can I help somebody get to that point? And it's just ultimately success too, is knowing you're in the center of what God is doing in your life. It's not a highlight reel. Okay. It's like, God is like moving you and he has a call in your life. Okay. And so I feel success in my heart, knowing like I'm being obedient to that and I'm staying true to that and I'm following suit and I'm like taking the action steps and I'm moving towards where God has me, not where I want to be or not where the world might make me look the cool, like I look the coolest to the world, that my life looks picture perfect. It's like, that's the stuff that makes you feel empty, truly. So yeah, that's really, I guess, how I define success is like, am I staying obedient to where God's calling me to be? Like, am I staying true to who I am and my character along the way? Those are things to celebrate for. So I guess I challenge you guys to kind of stop chasing the definition of success that quote unquote the world's created, and start honoring how you actually feel in your day-to-day life. Are you excited to get out of bed and go to work? Are you excited to train in the gym or whatever your goal is? Are you excited to get up and do that every single day? Or does it feel daunting? Because if it feels daunting, you're probably not doing it for the right reason. It's probably not the actual call in your life or where God's leading you or where you truly in your heart want to be going. Like, are you just running an Ironman to post it on Instagram and to like look better than the person who did it? Whoever you're competing with internally in your head? Like, is that why you're doing these things? Or are you doing this because you feel called and you feel like this is like where you're meant to go for some reason? Because when you feel called, you're going to go and you're not going to have a lot of hesitation. Yeah, you're going to have good days and bad days, but like it's a lot easier to get up and do it. And I think that's why for me, it's like over year after year after year. And I look at my dad even, he's been doing the same career for over 30 years. And he's woken up every single day. He has no boss on him to get up, but he gets up and he goes because he has purpose. He has a call in that area and he has a family to provide for and serve, And that's why I feel like I don't get drained of what I do. Yeah, I need to take breaks and take a Sabbath every week. Weeks fly by and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I get so excited to get to work. Like I don't want a vacation for my life. I'm leaving to go home for a week and then I'm going to a youth camp to like help lead a youth camp for another 4 days after that. So I'm gone for like a week and a half, almost 2 full weeks. And that's kind of like, those are so much fun. I love spending time with family and it's good to be serving and be in the church. Like I love my job so much. I'm like, I would be okay if I didn't have those things and I could continue just like doing what I'm doing. I don't like sit there and focus on when's Friday afternoon, when's Saturday, and then dread Monday coming back around. Like that's not a position to like live in. And that's like not where God calls you to like be and to feel. I guess ask yourself, am I building a life that I actually love living? Or is it one that just looks good online? Because I think that's what a lot of us are doing, is making our life look picture perfect online rather than actually focusing on what it looks like in real life. So here's what I want you guys to take away from this episode, because I know that was a lot. First, start preparing like the prayers already answered. Start doing the things. Start becoming the person you want to become. Like do the things that they would do. Enjoy the beauty and the stress of becoming. Okay, there's so much beauty in it. And that's like my favorite part. It's hard in the moment when you look back. It's like that was actually the sweetest, the richest part of it all. And then learn to redefine success by how it feels to you, not how it looks to them, not how it looks to everyone else online. Okay. And as always, keep walking, trusting, and just keep becoming. Okay. God is doing something so good with you guys. Even if you can't see it, I trust you. Trust me, trust God that like he's got a call on your life and you're going to get there and it's going to be so amazing. So stay true to that. And that's why it's so important to like live in alignment with like what's actually in your heart, not what everyone wants to see on Instagram. Okay. But I feel like I flew through this episode and that was so much. So I hope you guys like understood what I'm saying. But like, I truly think that's like the recipe to having a rich life, of one that's like exciting and full and like you don't want to break from and you don't wake up dreading the day. Again, we're all gonna have highs and lows, but like if you focus on really what's inside of you, like I feel like it keeps that like that drive like alive. So anyway, that's all I have for today. I hope this helped. If this, I feel like resonated with you guys, or if you have someone that you think this could help, please share it. Please send it to a friend, put it on your story. It helps support me, keeps me encouraged. But if you don't agree with this and don't align with you, don't share it, obviously. But I really appreciate it if you do. And I love you guys so much. And we will chat next week. Bye, guys.